right. Yeah, well, just use your eyes.
Just use your eyes.
Just open your eyes, then use them.
Welcome to Couch Surfing, the show where legendary guests look back at their big roles, their little roles, and everything in between. I'm here with Rowan Atkinson. Rowan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's very nice to be here.
It's very nice to have you here. Let's see what's on TV. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Now you may ask, what am I going to do when I move into the White House? What are you going to do when you move into the White House? I thought I'd paint it pink.
You are a PhD student studying electrical engineering, and you end up in the world of sketch comedy.
Yeah, and within months of doing my degree, I was doing this nonsense. Extraordinary. I'd forgotten the sketch. One of the last times I actually vaguely attempted an American accent, I would say.
I thought you nailed it.
Yeah. It's easy when it's camp.
I love this clip because it's so apropos of what's going on right now.
Yes, that's true. I can't remember the sketch. How very extraordinary.
It's really funny.
Well, it's already a very interesting trip down memory lane.
We're just getting started.
Just getting started.
Yes.
Ooh.
You ready for the next clip?
Yes.
Lieutenant, revolver, please.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now, sir, you really shouldn't do this, you know.
Come on, George. With 50,000 men getting killed a week, who's going to miss a pigeon?
We could use your skills on the streets in New York. Some pigeon side would be nice.
Yeah, it was very deft, wasn't it?
Yes.
Amazing shot.
Amazing shot.
Really, really good. Yes, Blackadder goes forth. So you see, that was a while ago, 1989, and Hugh Laurie, now extremely well known in the Americas.
What did you enjoy most about this period in playing Lord Edmund Blackadder?
Well, what I enjoyed actually was the shared experience, was the fact that there you are sharing the screen with people who are just fantastically good. Mm-hmm. Whereas when I'm playing a Mr. Bean or Johnny English, you really feel as though you're the main performer, and other people in many ways are more in supporting roles, particularly with Mr. Bean.
And you have to shoulder everything.
And you feel as though you're really shouldering the burden of providing the comedy, of making the comedy work. Whereas when you're with these fantastic sort of troupe, there's this lovely feeling of support. So if it succeeds, everyone takes the credit, and if it fails, then nobody takes the blame.
Right.
That's what was so good about it. I remember that time in my life.
So there was once talk of a Blackadder movie set during the Russian Revolution.
That's right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
So bring us up to speed. Is there still a chance of that happening?
It was called almost zero chance.
Almost
of it
zero
happening,
chance.
I think it sort of came and went. Yes, it was a good idea, and then it wasn't. But then sitcoms. It's traditionally very difficult to make a sitcom into a movie, no matter how successful the sitcom is. If you can imagine taking Friends or Big Bang Theory or something and just say, oh, let's make the movie of this. And you think, It works because it's a sitcom.
Right.
Those people are trapped in this world and nothing changes. No one learns anything in a sitcom. They say that's the key to sitcom. And the key to movies is that people change through the movie.
And there has to be resolution.
And there's some sort of, people learn things, and therefore they're different at the end of the movie than they were at the beginning. Ah, yes. Yes, the turkey on the head.
The turkey on the head.
Yes.
I mean, Mr. Bean is one of the most successful cultural exports in British history. I mean, right up there with tea and Paddington Bear. And you.
I'm flattered to be compared with the entire tea industry. No, it does have global outreach, as they say.
Explain the universal appeal of this character and the global appeal.
I was just going to say that actually that turkey was heavier, even though it was a prop. It wasn't a real turkey. You'll be unsurprised to hear. But it was a prop turkey made out of some stuff. But it was fantastically heavy, and of course on my neck, and I had terrible sort of repercussions in my neck and down my back for months afterwards. After we did this.
Oh no.
But anyway.
A turkey injury.
A turkey injury. A vicious turkey prop injury. But yeah, well, I don't know. It's just because he's a child. Mr. Bean is a child trapped in a man's body. That's how I've always seen him. He's a 10-year-old at heart, and therefore like children, he's naive, but also he's a natural-born anarchist, you know. He's just going to look after himself.
Yes.
Quite selfish.
Yes.
Selfish and self-centered. I mean, he can be fun, but quite unpredictable. It was almost a deliberate act, I suppose. It was 50% a deliberate act to create a character that would have a global appeal. Richard Curtis, the screenwriter, and I met when we were both students at Oxford, and we had already done some visual sketches. We didn't call them Mr. Bean sketches, but they were effectively on stage. You know, created them for a stage review that we were doing, and I thought, I'm sure that character, and you know, and when I had discovered by then, I suppose, that I can express myself visually, that once I'm asked to make, you know, tell a story,
yes.
a comedic story, without words,
yes.
you know, that I can do it.
You can.
You know, as long as I have rehearsal and the idea is good. We only made 13 or 14 half hours of Mr. Bean live action, and then we made the 2 movies.
The movies have done exceptionally well.
And the movies are fun, actually. I think, yeah, the first movie in '97, then 2007, and then the cartoon now. We have an animated Mr. Bean.
Did you have any idea that this character would make you a global household name and a multimillionaire?
Well, oh, pish, now come on. Surely not.
Welcome back to Couch Surfing. I'm still here with Rowan Atkinson. Rowan, shall we continue?
Yes, please.
All right, let's go.
Lydia Jane.
Yeah, dear, very silly.
I mean,
4 Weddings and a Funeral, 1994.
I mean, this is a
Curtis script.
classic. And you steal the show.
Yeah, a man who's really not very good at his job, which is actually where Johnny English is. It's the same story. He's you know, he's someone who's not as good as he thinks he is, and here is a very young, untrained, virtually untrained curate who is attempting to host a marriage service. Yeah, sweet film, actually. I mean, it's interesting when you see 4 Weddings and a Funeral now, because, you know, the jokes are still very good, but it does feel of its time, but it definitely feels, I think, 25 years old now. But the jokes, are, you know, just in terms of,
Yeah.
I don't know, the way men and women interact, you know, has changed. But as long as you treat it as almost as a period piece, then I think it's got some fun stuff in it.
All right, we're going to head to the next clip.
Pouncing. Pouncing? Oh, no, sire, you can't be
Zazu.
serious.
Zoo, yes, that's
This
me.
is so humiliating.
Yep.
What are you telling him, Mufasa?
I was so proud, really, in the end, to be part of that movie, because I didn't want to do it, actually, because voiceovers, generally voice work, is something that I'd become very well. I'd never done and I'd never liked, because I feel as though I'm a visual artist, if I'm anything,
true.
and it seemed to be a pointless thing to do but the co-writer of the Mr. Bean series, Robin Driscoll, I said, I've been offered this part in a Disney movie called The Lion King. I said, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to do it. And he said, oh, go on, it's Disney.
Yes.
You know, you may as well. And then, you know, I didn't realise that it would turn into the really very special film, which it did.
Your fellow Brit, John Oliver, has been cast in
Yes.
the remake. Any
Yes, I
advice
know.
for him? He will be playing Zazu in the upcoming
No, I've got some
remake.
questions for him, but advice, just do your best, John.
Do your best, John.
Just do your best, and try not to think of predecessors in the role.
Yes.
That's probably the
How
best advice.
you'll never be able to fill my footsteps. Oh, no.
I'm certainly not going to say that.
Look, actually, I don't need a bag. I'll just put it in my pocket.
No, this isn't a bag, sir.
Really?
This is so much more than a bag.
Quite creepy, isn't it? Quite a creepy man.
Rufus, truly one of the funniest characters on screen, and you do so much with so little. How do you make the scooping of dry
I don't know.
little roses funny?
That flick
The
of
flourish.
that flick of the scoop, as we now know it, is quite distinctive. Yeah, sweet movie. Again, just played a small part in the film, which I didn't realise quite was going to have the success and the longevity. A Christmas movie.
It's
A great Christmas movie.
All right, up next,
Jez, I'm not sure I've ever met a man quite like you, Basil.
Let me clear up the uncertainty for you. You haven't.
Johnny English Strikes Again.
Okay.
In cinemas very
How
very
many
soon.
takes?
It was really tricky, that. It's actually got a little bit of blue tack. Do you know what blue tack is?
No.
What was like a tacky blue sort of gunk
Okay.
that you put around it. And we had to put, I think it was just sort of some glue that they had to put around it, so it went up there and stayed there quite hard, actually. I mean, that was, several takes, I think, to get it to stay in place.
To get that umbrella just so.
Yeah, just so, because obviously it's got to stay in there while you do some other business.
Rowan, thank you so much
No.
for surfing by.
Well,
It's
thank you.
been real.
That's very good.
And Johnny English Strikes Again is in theaters now. See you next week on Couch Surfing.